All right, everyone, welcome to From Field to Filed. We're going to go over today a new product that is inside of the Uptick platform in response to the need for a variety of compliance forms inside of the fire protection industry. So, all right, so my name is Scott MacRitchie. I am your moderator here for today. I come to you from Uptick in North America, where our Denver headquarters is located. Now, just a quick story about myself. I do come from the fire protection industry. I started my career up in upstate New York as an inspector on the fire alarm side, as well as working in the service department as the assistant service manager and when I began my career. A little bit of time in the OEM world, working for a global provider of suppression, Firetrace International, located down in Scottsdale, Arizona. And now I find myself here working at Uptick on the inspection side. So as we roll through, I wanted to make sure that you guys knew who was sharing here today, so that as you are asking questions, which I very much encourage throughout this process, the team has the ability to know what they can ask. So as we go through here, all right. So for today, we're going to run through the state of the industry, give a little bit of, grab a little bit of feedback from the team, talk a little bit about those local regulatory requirements, and then standing out for inspections, and then a little bit of demo, because I think realistically, as we roll into these demonstrations, we want to know what is it that we are getting with a new product inside of Uptick. So if there are no questions or no additional things that the team would like to see, I will continue into our agenda. All right, let's talk a little bit about the state of the industry and where we are today. So as everyone can, I'm sure can surmise, we speak to a lot of fire protection contractors, and we are finding out that 60% of the industry is still using pen and paper. So part of my original journey with the fire protection world was as that assistant service manager. One of my first jobs inside of the industry, as I rolled into my first day, was back of inspection paperwork out to. Getting a stack of inspection paperwork out to one of my technicians who had dropped it inside of a puddle. Now, obviously, this looks like my microphone has stopped here. Can everyone confirm they can still hear me? Okay, awesome. So one of those first jobs was to actually go out and provide that stack of 3-part forms to my inspector. Without that information, they would not actually be able to complete that inspection. So as we look at the state of the industry, we do know, John says I'm not loud enough here, so I'm gonna speak a little bit more into my microphone. So we know that the state of the industry is going to be moving towards that digital side of the inspection piece, and everything at Uptick, our goal is for you to do everything inside of the platform in one spot. So with 60% of the industry still on pen and paper, with 60% of the events or of the industry still on pen and paper, we are pushing out our new feature inside of Uptick. So for us as an industry, we are working to get as much of that information inside of the platform as we can. So what we're finding is there's a lot of miscommunication and delay between what happens in the field and what happens back in the get as much of that information into these reports as possible so that there is the ability to close out these jobs, get information back into the office, and create ourselves more efficiencies inside of the business. Now, we also want the ability to create a searchable audit trail. So for all those jurisdictions, that are looking for format and content of all the details that go inside these reports, the whole idea behind getting everything inside of the platform is so that all these authorities having jurisdiction and compliance officers have a clean audit trail from start to finish. Now, everything that we are trying to accomplish inside of these new jurisdictions, they're going to have new forms, they're going to have updates, they're going to have all sorts of new things that we're going to want to make sure we stay on top of. And for those reporting and those spaces, we wanted the ability for you guys to also manage your own forms and reports inside of the platform. So inside each of your regions, I know we have some individuals here from the US, the UK, of course, Uptick as a Australian founded company as well. We're going to have a fair amount of our members from the Australian side. They're going to need to keep everything that they're doing updated inside the platform. And as you can see, keep it simple. We provide this path to digitize all the forms in those local jurisdictions so that if there are those small updates that your region needs and needs constantly updated, then we provide that inside of the Uptick platform. Now, some of the things that we've heard about, whether it's other PDF editors, other products inside the market, is we have to bounce around. We have to do things in other places. Not all the forms might be available. And when it gets to the field, it doesn't provide the same level of intuitiveness as you would inside of what you would consider more of a modern piece of software. So custom form building, designing in the field, what I'm going to go through here today is how you can not only select from those different forms, whether it's in the States for NFPA and AES for California, as well as any of those other regions where you have a set version of a form that you need to fill out for your reports. So inside of our platform, we have hundreds of those local forms that you can download with a single click. So when I was trying to find my forms for my inspection team, having to go to multiple sites, download different formats, everything was, okay, you use this for this type of inspection, or you have to be on this type of inspection for this version of a form. For us, we want you to be able to hit a drop-down menu, pick from what you need, but then if there is something that's not inside, to upload and create your own version of that form. You might like the word job. They might like the word task. If you're in this state, they might like a variation on something that another state calls something else. We want to give you that configurability inside of the platform. So not only do we give you guys the ability to pick from those forms, but we also allow you guys to pre-fill some of those forms. So as you're in the field and you're on a job and you're doing an inspection, we want your inspectors and your service managers to your service technicians to do their jobs. They don't want to be worried about filling out fields. So pre-filling a lot of those different pieces of the forms with the variety of options that you have inside Uptick allows your team to do more work and less inside of the platform itself. Now, as the team knows, doing things inside of a phone or in an iPad, what we've heard about other options is, hey, it's not easy to use. The UI isn't ideal. As you can see from my little GIF here on the screen, we have a very simple interface, very A to B. Click, select, copy those previous submissions from the last inspection that allow your team to do the inspection and not be worried about the format or the user interface that they're interacting with. Drop-down menus, checkboxes, everything that allows them to do their job simpler. Of course, it wouldn't be a presentation without a little bit of customer feedback. We're huge on getting that voice of customer. As you can see here from Jack Beal, everything is easy to navigate. Our goal is to, he's creating these custom forms. He's got a whole bunch of different variety of team members, young, old, seniors, vets, green, as they're getting into the business. And as you can see, we are collecting that feedback, and anything that the team, especially someone like Jack, can provide, we will make those small modifications inside of the platform. So let's jump into this, because the most important part of what we're doing here is making sure that what you guys are getting from a platform is the feedback that we are receiving. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a taste of our form template. So for those of you that aren't super familiar, this is the backside of the Uptick platform. Inside of the Uptick platform, not only can you view the forms that are already in your system, but you can also choose from a template library. So inside of the library, you can filter based on where you are: UK, Canada, US NFPA forms, or even in California. Provides you with a full list of all the different form options inside of Uptick. So let's go ahead and pull ourselves into a NFPA 2001 form. This is my home, my location here from my previous life. If we start using this form, we're able to go in and see the configuration. Now, the beauty of the Uptick builder is if we don't like the way something reads or the way something looks, we can go ahead and change that. So just as an example here, we can change that inspection to service date and then save those changes, and we immediately reflect it inside of that form. So not only can we change the text, we can change these drop downs. We can change the pre-fill options inside the platform. So that way we can provide a little bit of configuration to already pre-built forms. So if you're happy with the way things look inside of the pre-built forms, that's great. That's great. But if there's something different that you guys want to see in there, then we can. Now, just as clarification, as of today, we are very much focused on the US market for the forms library. So just want to clarify, as we continue to build out and there are forms in your local jurisdiction that the team wants and needs to see, then those can be added in. But as of right now, our main focus is the wonderful US market, where we have hundreds and hundreds of forms for NFPA California, and even our joint compliance for our hospital networks as well. So let's build out our own form. So inside of this form here, we can either upload our own PDF that we can flatten and put our text over the top, or we can simply add our new sections and build out that form. Drop-down boxes, text, and then this is going to be your no-code builder. So for anybody that is interested in adding and building out their own forms for their jurisdictions, this provides you that template to do that for your company. Now, just as a clarification, all these forms will live inside your server inside Uptick. So that way, whenever you have that version of the inspection come up, you guys can provide this on those individual jobs for those routines. So as an example, in the US, sprinkler coming up quarterly, you guys will be able to attach either your custom form that you build inside the platform or those NFPA forms that are already pre-built inside of the platform. So let's jump into a job and check out what that form looks like in the field. So jumping into that extinguisher form that we've added to our inspection here, we have ourselves our pre-filled properties, our property name, Denver Uptick headquarters, our address, zip code, easy drop-down boxes, yes, no, and then even a full table to provide all of the different extinguishers inside of the platform, including drop-down boxes for the manufacturers, the dates, the 6 year, the hydro dates, when the service is due. And then if we had a former submission on this job, we would be able to copy that previous submission, pick from a variety of different submissions that we've had on that site, copy that over, and provide that new piece. So the whole idea here, team, is we give you guys in the field the ability to make some of those quick changes. And then when you're completed, we can save and submit so that we can view our completed forms to provide to the customer. Now, of course, this is a brief overview of our forms inside the platform. So if there is excitement to see more, we definitely would recommend booking in booking in a demo to see more, so that we can go over some of the more finer details for your region, for your discipline inside of the industry. Now, I want to open this back up to some Q&A so that the team can ask their questions and we can go into anything specific that you guys would like to see or hear as we close off our presentation. All right, so will the form builder be available in the UK, as we want to start adding our own forms ASAP? Yes, the form builder will be available in the UK. Eamon is going to provide some more details as he's more familiar with that market. All right, I've got one coming in here from Jack. Yes, Jack is asking, can techs edit the forms as well in the field? They do have the ability to edit those forms in the field and complete those inspections, as well as the ability to rename those forms. So if they have multiple risers inside of a building, multiple locations that they need to complete, they can add multiple forms and change the names of those forms inside of the app. All right, I think we've got one more question coming in here from Jack, and then if we don't have any more, we will give the team some time back in their day. Yeah, great question, Jack. Can you have preferred forms that automatically pull up and save? Yes, so based on the routine, whether it's a sprinkler inspection, extinguisher, suppression, you have the ability to program that into the Uptick platform. So every single time there is a new inspection that pops up, that form will be available for the technician to fill out on the inspection. Now, if there are changes to those forms that the office would like to implement, you of course can go into those specific forms and make the changes before they're deployed out on the inspection. Awesome. As Eamon mentioned here in the chat, we are recording this, so anyone else that wants to view this or get more information, of course, most importantly, book a demo with us. We want to show off the product one-on-one so that we can answer any of those individual questions. But if that is, looks like we've got one coming in here from Ethan before we finally close out. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. The recording will be made available, and anybody that's registered will also get a copy. If there's any more questions, then we'd be happy to address them inside of our demo. But thanks, everyone, and we look forward to meeting with you soon. Thanks.